How's it going, everybody? It's me, Brosidon. This time I'm not making a funny voice. Well, I guess I thought it was funny. But anyway, today we're taking a look at Röki. Röki is an indie as hell puzzle game based on Scandinavian folklore. And yes, it is pronounced Röki. I'm halfway decent with Swedish, so I know what I'm talking about. Due to that, I can also attest to the validity of the folklore tropes and terms used in the game. Most of them are real. I just realized how much of a nutjob this makes me sound like. Alas, you might be wondering, why the actual are you covering this game? Well, first, I'm biased towards it due to my connection with Scandinavian stuff. And secondly, I enjoyed it a lot. The story revolves around a family that has suffered quite the amount of tragedy. Tuve, the girl you play as, and her brother Lars live with their dad, which I forgot the name of. You'll understand why pretty soon.
Lars.
Their mom is dead. Yep. Straight off the bat, the game references this subtly. She's dead AF. Due to the fact that dad's single, they're not particularly well off. The footage you're seeing should help reinforce that. Their house is kinda battered, dad's car is borderline out of commission, and they have an outhouse. And while their lives could be better, in the prologue things take a turn for the worst. A giant furry boy attacks and subsequently demolishes your house and kills dad too. This made me kinda sad. Low-key, this game made me cry a lot, and I hope I'll help you understand why here. Before the furry boy assault on their humble abode, however, before going to bed, Tuve reads a bedtime story to her brother that kind of foreshadows the entirety of the game and the past lore, if you want to call it that. Mind you, I personally liked it. It gives the game an aura of mystique that I quite relished in. As you can probably tell, this is the hand of the furry boy while he's demolishing your house and your dad's sleeping. This is why he gets owned, right? He was technically AFK.
Wow, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked, absolutely taken down.
After dispatching good old dad, the furry boy chases you and Lars down a hill into a forest where he snatches the little bastard and takes him to some sort of parallel magic dimension, leaving Tuve to look for his ass throughout the game. Which is you. You are Tuve. Accept it! Apparently, little Lars is touched by forest magic, which makes him essential to a rogue guardian of the forest which embodies a raven. There are 3 more guardians, a doggo, a thick bear, and a staggerino. I'm trying to keep this somewhat spoiler free for those of you that want to check this game out. You eventually do find him and everything turns out fine. Alas, the happy ending was not why I kept at it, even through some of the more tedious puzzle sections in which the game makes you go back and forth like a million times. See, this game's narrative likes to revel in duality. The real world versus the magic realm, which is essentially a reflection of the real world. You can spot this if you're keen enough. Tuve's initial view of the world in opposition to it towards the end. There's a lot to like here. You see, even though the game isn't voiced, well, not really, there's just noises the characters make, and sometimes you'll hear them say Lars, Tuve, Papa, or Röki, and that's just about it. Alas, even though the game relies more on your ability to read, it presents quite the compelling story. I am this close to spoiling it, to be honest, but I'd rather not. Suffice it to say that Tuve goes through a pretty nice character arc, and her journey was worthwhile not just to her, but to me as well. All in all, this is a story about hardship, love, family, sacrifice, determination, and the occasional repressed memories. All of these kept me going in spite of some of its shortcomings. And there obviously are some. It's an indie game, remember? In terms of gameplay, it's a puzzle game. It tries to spice things up with various mechanics, but some of them you can only use for a limited time, which kinda sucks. But it was refreshing to see. Here are a few examples. You get a wand that makes things big or small. You get a flute that essentially enables you to do a Moses cosplay, minus the beard and the dank robes. And some more neat stuff towards the end. The loop is essentially you pick something up, you use it on or give it to something else, or you combine it in your inventory and then give it to something else. That's the gist of it. It's not earth-shattering, but it's serviceable. I almost forgot to mention that, yes, you do talk to various NPCs. Right now, as you can see, I'm talking to a tree with eyes that moans a lot. 'Cause indie game. I wish I could tell you more about this game and its narrative, as it is, in my opinion, the biggest selling point without spoiling the shit out of it. I will instead say this game is a slow burner. It's not meant to be speedrun, even though I personally did it because I had some glitches happen to me, but that's beside the point. It's meant to be enjoyed slowly and, more importantly, casually. There is no combat in the game. You just smack things every now and again with a weapon or something. I wouldn't call that a system. So if you were hoping for a Scandinavian myth death dealer simulator,
you picked the wrong house, fool!
Try that of Boy instead. Going back to my initial train of thought, the graphical design is interesting and even, dare I say, refreshing. Again. The music is pretty close to phenomenal, not quite there though in my opinion, still great though. The main gameplay loop is serviceable and spices things up every now and again. And the story made me cry like a little bitch a lot. I mean a lot. Seeing the world through the eyes of a child facing borderline unfathomable odds tends to do that to you, and is quite compelling, especially when you see them grow as a result of their subsequent journey. This game tends to remind you of the important things in life, namely connections. Connections you either inherently have or you make along your own particular path. Would I recommend this game? It depends, naturally. It depends on what you're looking for and how far away from the AAA commonly used stereotypes you're willing to go. I personally enjoyed it, and as with my previous reviews on this channel, I wanted to share my thoughts with the world. I wouldn't call it a must-have, but I wouldn't pass it up either. Though, granted, don't do what I did. The game is 19 bucks, or euros. Yeah, I think it was euros. 19 euros on Steam right now. Pretty steep for the content it provides. Wait for a discount and grab it if you're bored. I know I was. I really appreciate you watching this. Just so you know, low-key. I'm going through some pretty rough stuff lately. Hey, it also rhymed. Yeah. I'll try to make more videos in the future. And hopefully, regarding this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe out there. I know the world is kind of in shambles nowadays, but we'll get through this one way or another. Have a good one, guys.